Hello, friend. I want to tell you about the BMW E90 car. A fairly common opinion about the BMW 3 Series is that the last decent cars were the E46 generation. The fact is that the E90 caused users a lot of trouble, and many emphasize that it is worth buying only 6 cylinders. BMW 3 Series E90 Sports Version M3 4.0 V8 420 horsepower. It is hard to disagree with the opinion of many users that the last decent BMW 3 Series was the E46. While the quality of the mechanical workmanship and the number of design flaws may not confirm this, almost all of the typical faults could be fixed quite easily and cheaply. The E90 series is a slightly different model in this respect. Until 2008, we could still talk about a car similar to the E46. A bit bigger, more comfortable and safer, but it had similar or identical engines under the hood. A lot changed after the facelift. There were significant changes, both in petrol units, where direct injection appeared in all of them, and in diesels, where the timing chain drive was moved to the rear of the unit, i.e., placed by the gearbox. Additionally, the valvetronic system began to be used in petrol engines. All this significantly reduced fuel consumption and improved performance, but also increased failure rate and consequently maintenance costs. In fact, it is impossible to determine which BMW 3 Series is good without knowing the engine codes. It can be assumed that this assessment of this model is defined by the engine. The wrong one can be a curse. The right one is a lot of fun to drive. As for the most recommended versions, these are the 330i and 330d versions. These are the most durable and reliable engines, although not all of them. The petrol engine was the best after the facelift, with 272 horsepower. If you want to buy an older 3-liter then, it's better to give up or prepare for repairs to the pushrods. Diesel, on the other hand, is the very durable M57 series up to 2007 and the equally refined. Although now, with timing at the back, N57 series. Basically, there are no major complaints about them, and any failures result from wear or neglected servicing. Unfortunately, the oldest M57s usually have huge mileage behind them. Beware of the 35i and 35d engines. The petrol has a supercharger, initially double, later twin-scroll, while the diesel has 2 turbochargers. Although these are good engines, repairs to the supercharger system are very expensive. Of course, we are still talking about 6-cylinder engines, but what about 4-cylinder ones? Petrol engines cannot be considered completely reliable, although the 320i versions are the least problematic. The 320d diesels, up to 2007, were the M47 series, and from 2008, the N47. The newer ones have adequate performance, but faulty timing. The most problematic is considered to be the engine powering the unique 320 SI series. This 2-liter engine, designated N45B20S, is a completely different design than the others. It spins to high revs, achieves 173 horsepower, and is characterized by a reinforced crank piston system. Unfortunately, it turned out to be so defective that without a documented repair at an authorized service center, it is practically worthless among experts on the subject. However, repaired and well-maintained cars are rarities. So is it a fact that the only BMW 3 Series E90 worth considering are the 6-cylinder versions? We can assume so, because if you're looking for a car with around 150 to 170 horsepower, an Audi A4 or Mercedes class would be an equally good and probably cheaper to maintain choice. Of course, neither of them drives like that, but is that the most important thing with such low power? Engine failures, mainly around the timing belt, are not everything, but in other areas the BMW E90 is reliable. However, it has a suspension that is expensive to service, a steering rack that is not very durable, there are failures of automatic gearboxes in more powerful versions, problems with the xDrive drive, or perhaps above all, problems related to a history without accidents. However, it is also a fact that choosing the right engine version is already 80% of success, and in practice, only 6-cylinder engines are suitable. Common BMW 3 Series E90 faults. Failures of electrical equipment, washers, central locking, steering wheel lock often break down, ignition system failures, usually coils, in petrol engines, failures of the timing control system in petrol engines, failures of flaps in the intake system in diesel engines, timing chain drive failures in N47 diesel and N45 petrol engines, carbon deposits in petrol engines, premature wear of automatic transmissions in combination with powerful diesel engines, premature wear of pulleys, drive failures, peeling seals. What to look for: well-maintained 6-cylinder versions with rear-wheel drive and manual gearbox. What to avoid: a unique version of the 320 SI 2600 pieces with a completely unsuccessful engine, versions 316i and 335i, 335D, if you can't afford to maintain a sports car. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.